Well, hey there, everybody. We are definitely live. You do not even know how excited I am to have my friend. Can I point the right way? No, I can never point the right way. JT, right there.
Hey guys, how you
Right
doing? What's
next
up, Tiger Gang?
Yeah, that's right. And I am so excited to flip the script on my friend JT. And I feel like I can call you my friend JT
Oh,
because after you
absolutely.
interviewed me on Chatting with Carnivores, and we've just been like texting and helping each other out. And yeah, I just love this carnivore community. So thank you so much for coming on my channel and agreeing to talk to us and get interviewed instead of being the one doing the interviewing.
Yeah, it's a little weird being on this side of the screen, but that's all right.
Right, like you're not in control of the chat. You don't just have to sit there. Like I get to do this kind of stuff. So Charger Mopar, we all know him. Quack quack.
Hey, what's up, Rick? Quack quack, my
Talk.
buddy. I
That's
got your
right.
duck right here, buddy.
Oh, let's see that duck. There's the duck.
He's
I love that
squirting his
duck.
little floater too. It's so cute. And then I got a spike. Oh, his hair looks bad on a Friday. There we go. Now he's ready to party. Put my duck in.
And then Mike says that he is definitely having a heart attack soon because he had a 20-ounce ribeye and 3 burger patties today, of course, with lots of tallow and salt.
Hey, you're doing it the right way, Mike.
You sure are.
Good luck on that heart attack. Rick's still trying.
That's right. Still working on it. I had my 20-ounce ribeye. I did not do the ribeye and the beef patties, though, so you got me beat, Mike.
Yeah, it
I
sounds
just got
delicious.
the ribeye in.
Make me hungry.
Serious, right? Who else is saying hi? We have Miss Susie Underwood, and happy Friday. Sometimes I like to call it Fry-yay. So it is Fry-yay, and happy Friday to all of you.
Hey, Susie.
And hooray for Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. She's always so supportive.
Hey, Rhonda.
Her. She's here.
Hopefully I get her on the Chatting with Carnivore soon.
Yes, you got to have Rhonda on. She's awesome. She'll be on my channel in a couple of days. Miss Rhonda on the 30th.
Semi-retired Bob.
Hi, Bob. We have not connected yet, Bob, but I watch you all the time. So,
Bob's
hi, Bob.
a good guy. I cannot wait till he starts homesteading. I'm going to watch the shit out of him.
Oh, yeah. I know. He's getting into that. But, yeah, I love all your videos, Bob. So, hi. Then we have Bypass Carnivore.
Hey, Bypass.
Yes. Feeling blissful after all the steak, right, JT? The getting high off the ribeye.
Yeah, I get high off a steak now. I quit smoking weed. So,
that's right.
You guys got to know it's good.
And then Bypass Carnivore says hello to us.
Hello.
Oh, and look, it's No Insanity Renee. Always see her around.
Yeah, she's a great supporter. I love her.
And look, the Baroness of Beef herself, all the way from Australia.
Alicia.
What time is it there? What time is it where you are in Australia right now?
She just had a birthday.
Yeah, she did. And it's not even Friday anymore. It's Saturday for her.
I got to get her to. I had to reschedule on her. I'm still waiting for her to pick a new date.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna hook up too, but yeah, we're working on it. Rhonda says that I can give you her email address, JT, so I'll text you that later, and if I forget, just text me.
Absolutely, I will take it and I will run with it.
Yeah, and then we've got Keto Cheeto. Hi, I saw you last night too, Keto Cheeto. Awesome.
Keto Cheeto. What's up?
Yeah, hi. He was watching my live last night too. That was pretty awesome. It's 11 a.m. Saturday morning, so she can tell us how the future is.
Oh, yeah. If the world ends, she'll let us know first.
She'll let us know. Yeah. So JT, what inspired me to invite you on was, well, first, you're awesome. But besides that, I saw the video you did. It was like a 20-minute video about it was kind of like the first time you said you told your whole story. And dang it, if that fly just didn't get in my eye when you were talking. And I thought, this guy has a story. Like, clearly everyone has a story. But you're usually the one doing the interviewing. And so I don't think I've heard that story all concise like that. So I was hoping if you wouldn't mind telling us your story. How did you end up from in the music scene on the standard American diet, partying, to like this guy that we see before us now that doesn't even act the same, look the same, or seem like the same person?
Yeah, I can go through it. It's no problem. I love telling the story. It's worth it. I was in a rap rock group. So I was in the rap scene, the rock scene. I did mostly music production. So I also was in a EDM group. We did dubstep. I opened up for Skrillex, did my own shows, like lots of rave parties. When I did the music, hip hop and stuff, I worked with these guys a little bit, Insane Clown Posse. Very fun guys. performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos. That's a very crazy event. And there's a lot of drugs there as well at the Gathering of the Juggalos. A lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. So I was just living that lifestyle. I didn't care what size I was. I was always kind of a chubby dude, and I never had a problem getting girlfriends. So I figured it was never something I needed to worry about. I could for the fellas out there, if you're a little overweight, just make them laugh, and you're good as gold. Okay, but um, I was living a lifestyle where I was drinking, partying, smoking, doing all sorts of stuff. And the shows, I would get even crazier around the show. You know, the venues would let us bring weed in there. They would let us bring alcohol. And it's what we would do backstage and party before we go out there and party when we got done. And then we would go home and party or go to a different house party and party. And it was just all about party and go up to Oshkosh up north and do shows and party up there. So I was eventually got to a point where I was standing on stage one day and I felt like crap. My gut just felt like crap. And there's a couple hundred people in front of me and they're all just dancing, smiling, having a great time. And I felt completely alone. I felt like I was in a room by myself, like I wasn't connected to anybody. I wasn't connected to what was going on. It didn't matter. I was in front on a stage full of people. You know, I never got stage fright or any of that stuff. So performing was never a problem. But what became a problem was that problem in my gut. And I think I was starting to develop IBS and I just didn't know it. But I went to the doctors a bunch of times and they always told me that, you know, they ran tests, and with IBS, I don't know if you know, like it never really shows up as there's any damage. There's things that aren't communicating right and not going right, but there's no actual physical damage. So they always told me there's nothing wrong, but I always felt like crap. It got to the point where I couldn't perform anymore. I didn't feel good enough to go out there. I felt like crap. And it started making me depressed. It really did. And because I couldn't perform anymore. And that was one of my joys in life. I just loved feeling the stage shake up and down from everybody just mosh pitting and all that stuff. I absolutely loved it. I loved making beats. I loved seeing people dance, and I just got to a point where I couldn't do it no more. And so I eventually stopped performing, and I didn't even feel good to sit there and work on my music anymore, make my beats anymore. And I got to the point where I told my buddies, my music groups, I said, you know, I'm all done. I'm all done. I need to make a change. None of them were thrilled about it because I was basically the mastermind behind everything. I started all the groups. I came up with the names. I made all the beats. So there was a lot of pissed off people, but whatever. I had to do what was best for me. And I moved out of Milwaukee and I moved to Thiensville. But I kept partying. I kept drinking. I kept smoking, but I was doing it by myself. And when I look back, it makes absolutely no sense that I would cut off all my friends, but still like that was the problem because I was drinking and smoking with my friends. Now that I'm doing it by myself, this should be
should fix it.
Yeah. So it made no sense, but you know, I was in that fog, and you don't think clearly. I knew I had an intuition. See, I hadn't had my coach yet, but I had an intuition that I needed to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
So I was partying by myself, drinking, and that made me more depressed because I had literally was not talking to anybody. And my friends reached out to me, but in all honesty, I just completely ignored them. And that's on me. And I didn't know what else to do. I knew I needed to make a change. And I was always arguing with people, always fighting, especially my father. Me and him never really see eye to eye. So I had all this anger in my heart and obviously a bunch of problems in my body, physical problems. Mm-hmm. And I typed in on YouTube how to get rid of anger. And this video popped up. I watched it. I wasn't thrilled at all. But right underneath it was my coach, Bob Proctor. I clicked on that video, and God bless his soul. He's out there somewhere. He's gone now, but he's out there somewhere. And he was talking about vibrations and frequency, and in how I was in harmony with all the negativity, and I was just going to keep tracking all the negativity. And he taught me that if I focus on the things I don't like about someone, I'm just going to multiply that stuff. I'm just going to keep attracting more of it. And that no matter who it was, nobody's all negative, nobody's all bad, and nobody's all good. So that's the law of polarity. There's opposites, good and bad, hot and cold, up and down, inside out. So that law of polarity also applies to us. So he says to focus on whatever positive thing, whatever good thing you do like about that person. So I started to focus on the more positive things in life. I started focusing on learning. I started focusing on the things I do enjoy about the people I was arguing with, especially my father. And I started to see instant results as far as my relationships go and the negativity around me. And I was still drinking and smoking, though, and eating bad. So I didn't feel better physically, but I started to feel better mentally. And I said, okay, this he's onto something, And when I was in Milwaukee, rewind just a little bit, with all the success I had in the music business, I knew I was doing things right, but then I didn't feel good. I had a lot of other drama in the music business. I knew I wasn't doing things totally right either. I knew I was doing things right. I knew I was making mistakes. So when I met Bob, when I saw him, I said, dude, I know this guy knows he's going to know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And I want to know what I'm doing wrong so I can nip it in the bud and start really thriving, start really being successful with my life and be something better. Mm-hmm. So I signed up for every class he had. I spent a bunch of money. I signed up for every damn class he had. And I spent a year of my life waking up an hour early every day and studying the mind and how the mind works and how my mind works. My marvelous, beautiful mind. All of us, we have beautiful minds. We're made in God's image. We're creative beings. But that year, I learned so much. And all the while, though, I didn't feel good. It was tough to study. I felt like crap. I was still drinking, still smoking. When I would drink, I could drink about 17 beers in a sitting. It was not good. Wow. I could really put them back, and didn't really have control of myself. But then I got to a point where I still, my intuition, I was naturally listening to it, and I just was like, I cannot keep drinking, beer and all this soda. Like I'm drinking myself to an early grave. Mm-hmm. Well, I had stopped it, and before I stopped it, I had unfortunately developed sleep apnea. And I don't know if that was from bad eating plus smoking all the cannabis I was smoking. But I had 3 different times where the sleep apnea literally almost killed me. I woke up out of a dead sleep and my lungs just would not work. I was scared. I ran all over the house. I didn't know what to do. I knew I couldn't call 911 because I'd be dead by the time they got there. There was just no point. I had to focus and save myself or die. And I got to the point where I was just like, okay, I need to calm down. I'm running around the house and I'm losing what little bit of air and energy I got left in my lungs. And I got to a point where I used that up and I fell on the floor because I had nothing left. I was so weak. I couldn't breathe. And I crawled out into the kitchen, and when you see people die on the floor in weird ways, I think that's because they were panicking. When you're in the middle of dying, you just do things. You don't know what to do because you're on your way out and you're freaking out that you're on your way out. You're dying. So I crawled to the kitchen and I leaned up against the cabinets and I looked at the clock and I just wanted to see what time on the clock that I would die. And I watched the clock and all I could get in was and that's all I could get in. And before I even got that much in, I had no air. I was just looking at the clock and I said to myself, I said, well, this is it, and this voice just popped out of nowhere. And I tell everybody to this day, it wasn't a male voice. It wasn't a female voice. It was just a voice. God just is. And this voice just was. And this voice said to me that if you don't try to live, try to breathe, you, your journey on in this life is over, and you're going to move on to the next journey. And I think the voice reminded me that although I thought I was on my way out, I thought it was over. It reminded me that I still had a chance to make one last decision. And that one last decision was either going to save my life or it was going to take me to the next journey. And that was up to me. I was either going to give up or I was going to keep trying. And I said to my, and this conversation like lasted, I don't even know how long, in real minutes, but it felt like forever. It just, it felt like I was already dead, but I'm just talking to this voice, like an out of body experience per se.
Wow. Wow.
And I said to myself, I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, I'm not even a husband yet. I'm not a father. Like there's things I want to do. There's businesses I want to create. There's people I want to help, like I'm not done yet. And then I tried to breathe and that's when I got the littlest tiny bit in, and God damn, it was so little of air, but I was so grateful for anything because I wanted to live. That's all. I clung to whatever little bit I had. And it was the longest 20 minutes of my life. I was sitting at the clock just, it was like someone had their hands around my throat and was just choking the hell out of me. And when I got about the 20-minute marker, I could get a little bit more in there and a little bit more. It took me about an hour to fully get my breathing back to normal. But that first 20 minutes, just getting for 20 minutes, it scared the piss out of me.
I mean, that's very scary.
So scared the hell out of me because I didn't know if I would pass, even though I was trying. But I had faith that the voice told me I had to make a decision. I had to fight. And that's what I did. I fought, and I finally was able to breathe. And man, that just sucks so bad because then every night after that, I was terrified to go to bed. I would try to stay up as long as I could. I literally became an insomniac. I refused to go to bed because as long as I was awake, I was alive. I could control my breathing. And I knew that the second I went to bed, I was probably going to die. Just like what happened the other night. I was like, when you go to bed, you're in God's hands. And it's up to him to whether you wake up or not. And I knew that, and it scared the hell out of me. And so every night I just was getting less and less sleep. I really didn't sleep much. I was just always terrified of sleep. And some people find comfort in it. And I to me, it was the scariest shit in the world to go to bed. I just didn't want to go to bed. I wanted to be awake. I wanted to be alive. And fast forward, I got married to my wife. We had our son. And when I had cut out the soda and the alcohol, I still had sleep apnea. I still had IBS. I lost a couple pounds, but I still had those issues. So and I always had to lay in the tub because my stomach hurt, my back hurt from it's another wild thing I did. I wasn't proud of it. I was street racing and got in an accident and I messed up my back. I got 3 discs in my back. They're out of alignment. So my back at the lower part curves. So I was always laying in the tub. I never felt good. I always felt lethargic. I suppose that was from smoking all the cannabis. My stomach hurt. My back hurt. And I was laying in the tub, and one day I pulled up YouTube, and I had been subscribed to Carrie's channel for a while. I found him when I was grilling. I had some wood ash left over, and I said, what to do with my wood ash? And Carrie's crazy ass popped up. And so, yeah. And then he had a second video. I didn't subscribe at first, but the second video that popped up was UFO over Montello, Wisconsin. You guys can look that one up. And that's the one that got me to subscribe because I've always been into UFOs and extraterrestrial life and stuff. So I said, man, and I've loved homesteading. So even though I never do it, but I admire people who do have the courage to do that and have the skills.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, he's into homesteading. He's into UFOs. Like,
He's my man.
This is my type of dude.
Yeah.
And then, a trigger too. I was like, he's in Montello, Wisconsin. I'm like, dang, that's so wild, man. He's into all that stuff. He's in my state. I live in Wisconsin. So I said, I'm subscribing. And then I'm laying there one day in the tub and I don't feel good. And I'm just looking for something to get my mind off of how I feel. And I pulled up Carrie's channel and he was doing Carnivore. I watched him do keto. I just wasn't impressed with anybody doing keto. That's just my opinion. But when I saw him do carnivore, it was like his third or fourth video he put out. I couldn't lay in that tub anymore and watch this man jump around like a flying squirrel. I said, I need to do this myself. There's just no way I'm gonna let him have all the fun. Absolutely not. So I pretty much hopped out of the tub. Like, he made me feel so good just by soaking up his energy. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, I didn't do any research at all on carnivore. I just cannonballed right in the pool. I wanted to get as wet as I could, make the big splash. And I don't suggest people do that, but that's me. I also didn't wear a sleep apnea machine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the brightest bulb in the pack, okay? Which is why I signed up for all my coaches' classes to raise my awareness to learn something. But I cannonballed right into carnivore, and in the first 30 days, I had so many beautiful changes. I stopped snoring. My IBS went away. That pain in my gut that I always had that made me stop doing music, it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
My sleep apnea was gone, and I know it was gone because when I go to bed, I'd have this whistle in my lungs, like it was like a whistle. I don't know how to explain it, like a wheeziness.
Yeah.
That was gone. And then on day 27th, I smoked weed every day of the carnivore diet for the first 27 days. And the 27th day I was smoking, and I felt no high at all. I didn't feel high at all. I was just like, what the hell is going on? So
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I finished it up, didn't feel nothing. And the next day I ate a steak, and I felt more high from the ribeye, literally high from the ribeye, than I did from the weed I'd smoked the day earlier. And I said, why am I even smoking and spending my money on this stuff and hurting my lungs even worse, when I have this sleep apnea? So I stopped on day 28. I didn't, I guess you could say the last day was day 27. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
smoke anything from day 28, and I still haven't smoked any weed since. And it felt good to finally get high off the steak, because it was just such a natural thing. It's just so beautiful too. I don't have those problems, and now I don't go to bed. Thankfully to carnivore, I don't go to bed in fear that I'm gonna die in my sleep anymore and never wake up. So I had a lot of miracles happen with this diet, and I'm grateful that I found this diet. Some people have never found it.
Yeah.
So I wish people would stop beating themselves up, say, well, I found it late in my life. Be glad you found it at all. Because some people have already died and they never found it. They're gone, and
Yeah.
they've lost their opportunity. And I just wanted to point out, when I was dying, I was not afraid of death. What I was afraid of was that I had literally squandered my opportunity at life. I squandered my opportunity to be a husband. I squandered my opportunity to be a father. And that's what scared me the most, is that I had ruined my opportunity at such a beautiful experience that's called life itself. And I want people to realize that, like, you should be more afraid about squandering these opportunities than you should ever be afraid of death. So that should make you live with more passion to go out there. And now I'm not afraid to fail at things.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to fall down and fail, because I'm alive. I'm happy I fell down and scraped my knee. It what a experience. Otherwise I'd be dead and would have never fell down and scraped my knee, and literally, metaphorically. Like, you have to. People get so upset about failing. Be glad you're alive to fail.
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like the near death experience too also gave me a complete new perspective on life. I I have a new level where I am so happy with myself. I don't care what people think. Like, if
Yeah.
someone doesn't like the hats I wear, they don't like my little duckies, they don't like the name of my channel, that's all okay. I love me. I love being alive,
Mm-hmm.
and I love being in this journey. I love making mistakes. I love winning. I love everything. I love myself, and because I'm alive, and I just hope you guys have that same perspective, that you're alive. Like, enjoy it. Like, you could be dead. Some people didn't wake up this morning, and that could have happened to me. So I, if you take any message from my story, it's to to change your perspective. And if you're having a hard time looking at life like that, that's the beautiful thing. You can use my perspective to look at life. Look at life how I would look at it. You know, that it every day is a damn complete miracle that you're breathing. Every breath is a gift from God, because I've almost had them taken away. I know what it feels like to not breathe. And when you're breathing, man, even just, I'm telling you, when I go out to these farms and pick up my meat and stuff, just smelling the cow shit smells so good. Because when you can't breathe, there's no smelling. You know, like, you don't appreciate the cow shit, you know, until you can't breathe. So I hope you guys can change your perspective and enjoy everything you smell. The farts, the cow shit, you know, the daffodils, the lavender, the ribeyes, and smell it like it's your last one, because you never know, folks. So that's my story. That's how I changed from being in the music scene to being a family guy, like Peter.
Yeah. And that, what's crazy to me is you're still so young. Like, I feel like such an old lady to say this, but you're still so young. Like, you had to be in your 20s when you were experiencing like the back pain and the laying in the tub, like in your 20s, right?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Like, yeah, age doesn't matter. You can drive yourself into the grave at any age. If you don't love yourself and make good decisions by choosing water instead of soda, choosing water instead of beer, choosing fresh cow shit air instead of cannabis. You know, and I've got no problem with people using cannabis because they have some sort of terminal illness, you know, or whatever, it gives them some sort of relief. Then God bless you. Smoke it up. You know, you only live one life. But if you don't need this stuff, I suggest don't do it. You know, use the law of polarity, use the law of opposites. The opposite of beer is water. You know, the opposite of Cheetos is a ribeye. You guys can use these laws in your favor. You just have to learn about them.
So the part of there's actually a couple parts of, oh my God, Cindy says, sorry. Sometimes the comments come up and then they interrupt my thoughts. Cindy says, if I'm feeling old, she must be ancient.
Hey, yeah, that's all right. But
you are not ancient. You are awesome.
I love Cindy. I've had her on my channel. Don't beat yourself up, you guys. Like, and you know, an age is just a number, you know, like, use a different perspective. Start thinking like a child would, and you're going to feel young as hell.
So what I was trying to say before Cindy's comment that made me giggle, is that one of the parts of your story that resonates with me is the part where, you know, now you live life, you're having fun, you love yourself, and you don't care what other people think. Because I just turned 48, and I spent 47 and 1/4 years of my life obsessed about, like, anxious about people are thinking this or that or the other thing, to the point that I wouldn't be around people anymore. Like, I would go to work and come home and sit on the couch and do nothing, and decline invitations to things, because what if they think I look fat today? And what if they think I'm weird? And what if they don't like how I said that? And running conversations over in my mind 87 times to see how I could have done it better. And I just don't worry about that stuff anymore, you know? And so
it feels freeing, doesn't it?
It's very freeing. And so I feel amazing. And here I am talking in front of how many people on YouTube, and I'm not anxious about it. Like, I'm just having a good time with my buddy JT and all my friends in the chat. And it's crazy to me how the way that I used to feel anxious, I didn't realize I was anxious. Like, that was just normal. That was just normal. And I just thought that's just how I was. But that's not how I was. And it's the food that I was eating that was clouding my mind, giving me brain fog, anxiety, and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, I'm so glad. I don't care that it took me till the age of 48 to find this way of eating, because I'm only going, you know, up from here. That's how I feel about it.
Better late than never. And my coach also taught me that most people don't even think. They aren't happy with their own lives. They're not getting the results they want. They're not willing to wake up an hour early every day and study the mind, because most people would rather die than think. They're just living day to day in the same routine that they always live. They drive home the same way, past the same buildings. They do the same things, say the same things, pick up the phone at the same time. They brush their teeth the same. I mean, everything's the same thing. So most people actually aren't even thinking. And when you realize that, you're like, wow, and I was worried about what they were thinking, and they
Yeah.
can't even think for themselves and get results. And it's just so freeing, because then you realize, like, wow, when you start to think yourselves, it opens it up to a whole new world where even if someone is thinking it, I'm glad for them then, because it's better than not thinking and being in these routines, that we're all trapped in.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you didn't say it just now, but I heard you say it on, I don't know. I watch a lot of your interviews and
I
videos and things. And so at one point you said that you had gotten some comments that your story from other people, they didn't think like your story was as valuable as someone who had to lose all that weight. Well, I only lost 20 pounds, but like that's part of the reason I made my YouTube channel, because you can't see it from the outside. People would have looked at me 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, and thought that I was fine because I was thin. I was a
yeah,
size 6. Like nobody's going to look at me from the outside and say, boy, she's doing poorly. There's a lot of people that would have wanted to be that size or whatever, and so
right.
looking at me and saying, oh, she only lost 20 pounds. Yeah, but so I actually lost the 20 pounds on keto, and keto was great for me for that. And I think other people, like my mom is still meat heavy keto, she's doing great, but for me, all the mental benefits, the sleep benefits, like I'm like you. I think you need less sleep than I do at this point, but like 6 hours of sleep, I'm good to go. I'm jumping out of bed. Like I know, right? You're like, I need 5.
That's all I need.
Yeah. All that stuff, the anxiety, the food freedom, all that stuff came when I pretty much went carnivore. I didn't get those benefits on keto. That's not to say that some people can't. I'm just saying, I think it's because I had starved myself for so long. Like I had starved myself to lose weight for so long. My metabolism had to have been all messed up. But that's when I got all that stuff. And you can't look at me and know that. I have to say it. And so I'm out here.
Well, they're judging a book by its cover.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing. And that, when someone does that, when they compare me to someone who, we're two different people, we've had two different lives, two different experiences. And when someone compares me to that person, I can tell their level of ignorance right off the bat, because there should be no comparison. There's only one me. There's only one you.
Yep.
You're like a snowflake. It might look very similar to the other ones, but when you look at the details, there are completely different details. So I don't compare myself to other people. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to do it. And plus, why would I want to try to compare myself and either tear myself down or tear someone else down? I've got a second chance at life. My goal now is to serve people and to lift them up, and to make an impact the best I can, and to be a good example for my son and show him what a real man looks like.
Yeah, your son is adorable, by the way. I saw him in your latest, the one you guys were at the zoo. I'm like, oh my gosh, he is just too cute.
Thank you. Yeah, he's he's my mini me.
Yeah. Oh. So, yeah. So Mike says that it seems like the heavier you are and the more weight to lose, the more popular and more influential you are.
I would agree with that. The carnivore community, unfortunately, as much as I love them, they are pretty shallow with the thinking, and it's even with people, like it's sad, man. You see these people start this journey with all sorts of health problems, they heal them, and then it's all just about the weight loss. That's all they want to talk about. I'm like, well, what got you to the dance here? Like for me, like I like talking about the sleep apnea and the IBS and stuff, because that's what got me to the dance, and that's really what got healed. So I got healed on the inside. And unfortunately, most people in life, that goes back to not thinking, Christy. They use their senses, what they see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and that's what got us in the problems in the first place. Oh, this smells good, this tastes good, this looks good, and then you end up with these problems. And then it doesn't stop there. Then they look at someone and say, well, they look like they've had more changes. I can see more change. They're still tuned into their 5 senses.
Yeah.
And it's just no good. They're supposed to help us connect to the outer world, but they're not supposed to be what we live our life by. We need to use our higher faculties, and they don't know what their higher faculties are. And I'm not getting on the community. I'm just saying that a lot of them have a shallow way of looking at things. They use their 5 senses, and they're like, well, so and so lost more weight than you. Well, that's cool. That's cool. And that's great. But so and so is different than me. We're different people. And you need to start looking on the inside. On the inside, like, what did we heal on the inside? That's more important than looking better from losing weight. I mean, we all like to look better and lose weight. Don't get me wrong. But stay focused on the inside instead of the superficial five senses, who lost more, what, you're not really thinking then when you just look at people's bodies and then also you're judging a book by its cover. That's not thinking. That's not thinking. Open the book and read some pages. How does that feel on your mind? Then you're thinking again. But if you're just going to look at the book, and judge it by its cover, you're going off what you see, it's ridiculous. So and I'm not blaming people. They don't know what they don't know. You have to study the mind. And when you study your mind and how it works, you're going to stop using those five senses a lot more. I use them once in a while just to enjoy the earth. Like I said, smelling the cow shit at the farm, but I don't let those senses control me. I don't let those senses run my life anymore. I did at one point, and that's what got me into trouble, Christy. And now what got me out of trouble is using my higher faculties.
100%. So Lori RN says that she's a new carnivore. So welcome, Lori. We love new carnivores here.
Hey, Lori.
And she can't wait to heal herself from her depression. That's amazing. I hope that you do heal yourself from depression with this way of eating. I think JT can speak a little bit to that. I didn't have depression, but I had a good case of anxiety going on. Like I said, it was my job and my couch. And if I did those two things, I was okay. I was anxious about the grocery store, the gas station, like anything out of my regular routine, going for a walk, I would not do it. Those of you that know me know I've been sprinting outside on my street in front of people, like, and I don't care. Like I'm the only one sprinting, and who cares, right? And right. It's just a night and day difference. And to speak to a little bit to what you were saying, JT, it's not a competition, man. I know that I had less healing than a lot of people. I had a few major things, but to me, healing those things were very important. And there's been several people who have commented, you are describing me. And it's like that right there is why I'm doing this, because I knew I couldn't be the only one. I knew I couldn't be the only one with a calorie counter going in their head 24/7. Like if I was awake, I was counting calories and recounting.
I never counted.
Yeah, see? So it's a different story for everybody. But, people resonated with that. They said, oh, me too, with the counting. And then they're trying to beat yourself the next day. Like, oh, today was 1,000. Let's do 80 tomorrow. And then recalculate. I mean, it was insane. At the time, it didn't feel insane. Looking back, it was absolutely insane. And I don't do that anymore. I did that from teenager to, 9 months ago, and it stopped. I don't do it anymore. I count nothing. And I feel great. And I'm not worried that I'm not going to fit in my jeans tomorrow. Like I don't give it a second thought, and
it's amazing.
So it's like, this is my story, and hopefully it can help somebody. Like it might not be you, JT, because you didn't have that issue, but like somebody that did have that issue, they're going to go, wow, like I do that. And maybe I might not do that anymore if I start this way of eating. Or like Lori here, she's going to hear about lots of people, I'm sure, from our community that have used to have depression and now they don't. And so hopefully that's going to give her some hope. I'm not the person to speak to that, but I did hear you use the word depression, JT. You had some, and how's that going?
I don't no longer have depression. It was a combination of two things. My coach taught me what causes depression, and then I also getting on a healthy diet to make my body feel better. So that also did help. But you also can't just rely on a diet to fix your depression. You have to understand where depression comes from. Depression and anxiety come from a lack of knowledge. And it's like being in a dark room. We're getting around Halloween, right? And if I put you guys in a dark room and locked you in, let's say I took you to a big old mansion, scary mansion, all the lights turned off. I put you in there and I locked the door. You couldn't see nothing. You're going to start getting anxiety. You're going to start developing fear. And that's because there's a lack of knowledge. And what's the lack of knowledge in that dark mansion? It's because the lights are off and you don't know what's there. And your mind's going to play tricks on you. And it's going to say, well, this could be in the dark. This could be in the dark. Well, then if I flicked on all the lights at once and you actually saw that it was a beautiful place with all sorts of antiques and beautiful family photos on the wall, your fear and anxiety would go away instantly. And what is the light that I flicked on? Knowledge. Knowledge is the key. The opposite of anxiety and depression is knowledge and courage. So the more you gain knowledge about how your mind works and how a proper diet works, you're gonna start waking up with less anxiety, having less fear. And that fear and anxiety and all that stuff, it builds up to, and then fear, when people have fear, they suppress it. And when it's suppressed, it turns into anxiety. And then anxiety turns into depression. And depression turns into disease, and disease turns into death, folks. We don't want to be on that side of the spectrum. We want to connect to the other side, okay? And the opposite of fear is faith. And you gain faith when you have knowledge. You understand how something works, and it gives you all the courage and the faith. And you have faith, you start prospering. And disease is a body that's not at ease. And if you have the proper knowledge and the faith and the courage, you're going to be a body that's at ease, not in disease.
That's right. That's right. So I have to put my friend Cindy up here. Cindy, I want you to know that, yes, we still love you. We love all our keto friends. We love all of our proper human diet friends. We love everybody, right? But
Cindy's a great woman. She's she's a leader. She's a beacon of light, and I appreciate her.
100%. And all my friends on Lioness Lifestyle Live, we're not all three eating the same way. We are all eating the way that is good for us. And so we have to know ourselves and our N=1, Cindy. So more power to you on keto. I know that is working great for you. Like I said, my mom is 71 years old. Keto is working great for her. She has all kinds of energy. She has international trips planned. She's turned her walks into, sometimes she'll just jog out of like an excess of energy. So she's having no trouble. Her arthritis symptoms in her hands have gone away, all doing a heavy meat base, but, keto. So Cindy, absolutely. I am not, hardcore. Everyone has to be carnivore. Like, everyone needs to do what their N=1 tells them to do. And as long as it's proper human diet, you're doing awesome. So yes, we love you.
My 93-year-old grandfather's on keto, so I have no problem with keto. I love him and I support him in his journey, and whatever he needs from me. I'm just a phone call away. I'm right down the street. So I love my gramps. I'm there for him.
That's awesome that you still have him in your life.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
Rick made a joke. Instead of counting calories, count iguanas. Yeah, Rick, the ones in your freezer. How many are in there?
I'd say at least 2 or 3.
At least 2 or 3. I know. I saw them. I am waiting for a thumbnail picture from Rick because he's coming on. I'm going to talk to that guy.
Well, he told me earlier today he just got a haircut, and he's getting some photos taken. So it should be coming anytime now, Christy.
Sweet. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to that interview, Rick. And then this is a cool tip here from Crypto Carnivore, because I didn't realize that some senior centers would take people as young as 50. So Crypto Carnivore says, found a great way to save money for steaks. Our local senior center has a fantastic gym and accepts people 50 and over. I just turned 50 and it's only $80 per year. No wait for machines or weights. That is a good tip, because I'm 48. So in 2 years, I'm going to check out our senior center and see if they'll take me.
I got a ways to go yet. So you guys do it up for me and let me know how it's going.
That's
you guys
right.
can be my inside intel.
Yes, we will. So that was awesome. That's a really good tip for anybody out there that's 50.
Yeah, appreciate the tip.
Yeah, that's a good one.
About lifting everybody up. You want to give out as much good information as you can.
Yep. And then Crypto Carnivore also says, at Lori, but I mean at everybody, I think, had tons of anxiety and started to lift around month 3. Now it is a distant memory. So Crypto Carnivore, that's super helpful, because for me personally, it didn't take till month 3. But I think that's really awesome, because people need to understand that you didn't get anxious, in 3 months. It probably took time to get there to that place. I know it took me my whole life. It was just got like slowly worse and worse and worse and worse. It didn't take that long to go away, but like for some people it's going to take time. Your body's going to take time to heal, and you don't always get to choose either the order in which it's going to heal. Like things are going to be healing, but you can't say, can you do this first please? Like there's not a check off list that you get to choose. So just keep with it. And yeah, it's gonna only get better for you. And then Lori's like, the more sugar and carbs I eat, the worse my anxiety gets. Amen, sister. Yes, if I go too far up the carb ladder, it's going to get bad. So I have been very I'm not 100%. I mean, I still eat like the sweetened element, my element chocolate salt. I'm still doing that. So if anyone wants to revoke my carnivore card over that, go right ahead. But
I don't take electrolytes.
yeah, I didn't at first. And then after about 6 weeks, I started getting headaches and leg cramps when I was asleep. Like I'd wake up and my calf would just be all cramped up, And so I don't do them every single day, but like every other day or so, it keeps the headaches and leg cramps away. So I don't know, maybe I'll try reducing them and see if they come back, but yeah, it wasn't very fun. So those electrolytes do help.
The only carbs I consume are like in breakfast sausages and summer sausage and beef jerky. I'm not perfect, okay? You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
I love those three things, and I don't care what anybody says. If there's a carb in there, I do not care. I'm going to eat my breakfast sausages because I go to local beef farmer, and they have amazing breakfast sausages. They have a amazing beef jerky. The summer sausage is delicious. Like, do what you do, but if there's still something that you enjoy with a tiny bit of carbs like that, it's still meat in my opinion. I'm just like, so whatever, I'm having it. I enjoy summer sausage, and someone doesn't like it, they don't have to eat summer sausage. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, if it doesn't bother you and you're making progress and you're feeling great, like I said, N equals 1, man. And I'm right there with you, Becky. Becky says there's so many things I do now that I would never have done before getting on the proper human diet. So grateful for a transformed life.
Good for you, Becky.
That's 100%. I feel the exact same way, Becky.
See, and that she's got the courage then, because she's got the knowledge of what didn't work and what does work, and that anxiety stays away because you're not worried about, well, is this stuff going to make me feel like crap? It won't make you feel like crap. So it's going to give you all the courage in the world. And that anxiety and depression is just gone. Also, you're eating good, but it's also too because you know that the food is good for you and you have less anxiety about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body.
That's right. I don't worry about it at all. I get hungry. I eat my ribeye. I move on. I don't worry about it or think about it. Yeah, some people, when they do the flavored electrolytes, it does give them cravings. I don't see Robin, the carnivorous grandma, in here right now, but she was having those types of feelings. She had to get rid of all sweet tastes.
I just talked to her. She got rid of coffee too, so she was having
she did.
Not the greatest day, but she said she was getting through it, and I'm proud of her. And you guys do what's best for you. If you like the electrolytes, take them. If you don't need them, I would honestly suggest that you just up your salt intake. And then if you need to, like, go to like Walgreens or CVS and pick up a magnesium pill for muscle soreness and stiffness and cramps and stuff. But otherwise than that, I really don't think you need to spend a bunch of money on Element. I'm not sponsored by them, as you could tell, and I don't want to be sponsored by them because I'm a free agent, and then I get to say what I want to say, and I get to voice my true opinion. And my true opinion is that we really don't need Element. So Element they're not a fan of me. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone necessarily needs or doesn't need Element. It's something that I enjoy, my chocolate Element, and it doesn't make me like when I have my chocolate Element, I don't go, well, now I need a cookie, and now I need, I don't crave anything
else. Where's my ice cream?
Yeah, where's the carb monster does not come out, but I know for some people it brings out the carb monster.
Yeah, if it's a trigger for you, stay away from your triggers. If you and Dr. Hampton was saying, like, when you get over an addiction, it doesn't go away. It just lays dormant. And these triggers can resurrect them, kind of like those little shock pads, and then it's like Frankenstein. Then it's running all over the place. It's running amok. And if you can avoid the triggers and bringing Frankenstein, the addiction alive, then please do that, folks. But do what's best for you, okay?
So then we have Mike here. You know, he's very strict. No electrolytes, only meat, tallow, salt, water, no spices, powders, electrolytes, caffeine, strict and simple. Taking pleasure from life, not food. Great. Good for you,
what
Mike.
I do.
Yep, that's awesome. And then Miss Karen has popped in. So hi, Karen. Karen says hi to both of us. Nice to see you. I like chatting with Karen.
I appreciate her very much.
Yeah. I'm always chatting with her on the when I'm not on camera and I'm just in the chats, you know. She's nice to talk to you.
He's part of my Tiger gang.
I love it. That's awesome. So then, yep, Crypto Carnivore says, yep, me too. So agreeing with Mike and Dr. Chafee and Dr. Baker, when it comes to discipline and exercise and diet, ain't playing around with stuff that I don't need. Yeah, more power to you guys doing that.
Cut out whatever's not necessary. And that's, I'm not just talking foods and stuff, you know, like if you guys are saying, well, I could be getting more results, you know, well, are you working out enough? And if you're not working out enough, did you watch too much of a basketball game? Did you put on The Price is Right? Did you pick up the newspaper and get all upset about reading what's in there? I mean, there's things that we're doing that we could cut out of our life that are kind of giving us anxiety, and then we could put that time and energy into maybe doing a couple extra sit-ups, maybe, you know, calling your mom and telling you love her. You know, like there's things you could be cutting out that are more valuable. So cut out what isn't necessary, especially we got 2024 coming up. That's half the reason I was doing my little coaching series here. If you guys want momentum for 2024, it starts right now. And if, let's say you're running a race, when you come to the home stretch, which we're in the last pretty much 2 months almost of the year, this is not the time to slow down and be like, well, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm going to relax. You get a person who's in a race, they see the home stretch, they see the finish line. Do you think that's when they're going to pull off the gas?
Nope. That's when you sprint, man.
That's when they slam on it. That's when they start sprinting. That's what winners do. And we're winners, folks. And I want you guys to keep the momentum going. So if you're overbooked till February, keep it going. Go to March, April, June, July. Don't lay off the gas, because there's no limit to the success you can have out here. Only you are going to limit yourself.
Yeah. He's talking about Lioness Lifestyle Live, my live stream that I do on Tuesdays. We were booked through February, you guys. It's like, it's no joke. These ladies just want to come on and talk to us. We're having the best time. So if you haven't tuned in, tune in Tuesday nights. It's 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have a great time talking. And this coming Tuesday, we have Nicole, former fat girl Nicole, the nutritionist herself, is coming on to talk. So we're looking forward to it. I
gotta say, shout out to all the ladies. I have had most of my interviews on Chatting with Carnivores is with women. And I've been noticing more and more each day, there are more women actually on the carnivore diet than there are men. And you would think that it's like it's like a guy's diet, you know, give me the bacon and all this. You know, no, you ladies are so strong, so powerful, so smart, that you just grabbed it right from the guys and you're running with the ball, and we can't even catch up to you now. So I'm proud of all the ladies.
Salad. I'm not eating no salad.
Hey, I am proud of every single one of you out there, and I hope you ladies never shut up about this. I hope you guys change so many hearts and lift so many people up. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. Because there's so many issues too with like the hormones and stuff that we got going on that this diet can help too. So yeah, that's kind of our goal on Lioness, is to talk about all those, you know, all the things, but specifically to like the female perspective of it. So
absolutely. I'm all for it. I send every single female I can get your way. I want to support your mission.
I know, because I'm watching you live, and then you're like, Christy, if you're on here,
hey, I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to help you out, I'm going to help you out.
I knew. Amazing.
We're not a man. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be a real man for my son and show him what it's like.
Love it. Thank you so much. So Crypto Carnivore, I know you were talking to Mike, but I felt like you were talking to me on this one. So he says, I'm starting to focus a lot on fitness now that the diet is dialed in. Check out Body by Science from McGuff. Have seen great results. I'm going to check out Body by Science. I've never checked that out, but I will tell you, I've started doing fitness challenges in September. So in September, it was the sprinting. I've kept that up. In October, I've added squats and push-ups. JT, I reached my goal. So my goal for push-ups on my toes, like real push-ups. On October 1st, I could do 2. My goal was 10, I could do 10.
What's your new goal now?
Yeah, so my new goal is to keep going through November, at least every other day, and hopefully by the end of November I can hit 15. So that's my
Interesting.
goal. I think I'm teaming up with Carnivore Brothers, although we're trying to work out some details. But I'm teaming up with Carnivore Brothers for November for a fitness challenge, and also my friend Carrie at My Metamorphosis. We're doing a hula hoop challenge in November with a
Let's
weighted
go.
hula hoop. So we're doing hula hoop in November if anyone wants to join me, and something probably coming with the Carnivore Brothers as well.
You know,
Lioness
and
versus lions.
that's awesome. And just to speak on goals real quick for a second, what makes us successful is not the goal itself. It's knowing where you want to go and where you're at, and knowing that you're headed in that direction. So if you want to be a school teacher and you're taking the classes and you know you're headed that direction, you're already a success. Okay. And what my coach taught me is when you get to the goal, when you get to the top of the mountain, you're no longer a success. You know why? Because you have to set a new goal. And if you're not creating, if you're not growing, you're disintegrating by law. So that's why he wants you to always be a success. So when you accomplish a goal, that's why I asked you about your new goal. You have to set a new one. That way you keep stretching, you keep growing, and you keep being a success. But if you know where you're at and where you're going, it's like a captain of a ship. He knows where he's at, and he knows where he's going. If he didn't steer that ship, it would not go well. He'd probably end up on the land or something. He wouldn't end up where he's going. But if you guys know where you're sailing your ship, you are a successful captain, even if you haven't gotten there yet. If you know you're taking the steps. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of courage that if some of you haven't hit your goal weight or whatever, if you're on your way, you're already a success, my people.
Mm-hmm. So Rhonda chiming in here, the momentum starts now.
It starts now. Right. If you want 2024 momentum, you don't wait till the masses, the majority of people, 97% of people, they'll wait till January 1st and they'll say, well, what's my New Year's resolution? What do I want to do this year? Nah. We've got 60 days. Whatever that resolution would have been, you can do that now in these 60 days. Don't wait. If you're going to set goals for 2024 in 2024, you're doing it wrong. You're already behind the ball. Like the real pros are planning things out. They know what they want. And then by the time 2024 is here, you guys are going to be glad you listened to me because you're like, wow, I'm on a hot streak. 2024 is going to be mine. But if you slow down, you're going to chip away at your confidence and you're not going to do as well as you know you could do. And then you're going to sit there and try to make these goals and you're going to feel behind the ball because you really are. So it starts now, folks. We got 60 days left this year. Do not waste it.
That's right. So people are talking about Redmond Real Salt. JT, I heard you talking about Redmond Real Salt. You got on that train, the Redmond Real Salt train.
It's absolutely delicious. I absolutely love it. And I'm not sponsored, and I don't want to be sponsored.
No, I'm not sponsored either, but oh my gosh.
I'm a free agent. I can say what I want when I want. I don't want, and that's the other thing too. Like I've got channels on YouTube that I like watching, and I get so annoyed when there's 6 different parts of the video where they're doing these little advertisements within the video. I'm not talking skippable ads. I'm talking there's product placement in videos. It annoys the hell out of me, man. If I wanted to watch all them commercials, I would turn on cable news. So for me, I want my channel to just be about the content. I don't care how much money someone offers me to promote anything. I get a lot of offers all the time in my email, and I delete every single one. I don't respond to any of them. I'm not going to promote anything on my channel but my family, my lifestyle, my thoughts, my heart. And that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get Element advertisements. You're not going to get Redmond's Real Salt advertisements. You're not going to get any of that crap on my channel because it's all about the content. It's all about you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys can, there's plenty of other channels you guys are watching where you know about these products. You don't need to learn about these products from me and then get this code. Oh, use my code and you get money off. Come on, man. Life is way too short, man. I ain't got time for all that. So I like being a free agent, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content that's ad-free.
So Crypto Carnivore is asking if anyone's tried the smoked real salt. I have, but I cannot tell you which flavor I prefer because I only have one flavor. I have not tried the cherry one, and there's another one I I think there's 3 of them maybe. But anyways, I have the hickory smoked salt, and it is really good. When I do my picanhas, that's what I do. So on my ribeyes and all of that, I just use the regular Redmond's fine sea salt. But when I do my picanhas, I do that smoked hickory smoked salt, and it is very, very good. So I can recommend that one, Crypto. But for all I know, I like the other ones better. I don't know because I haven't tried them.
I'm trying to try the Redmond's. They make a toothpaste.
Oh, yes, the earth paste, right? Or something like that. Yeah, I want to try that too because I feel like I probably don't need all that fluoride. My teeth stay so clean now. Karen, I did not know this about you. She's been lifting for 15 years with a little time off here and there. That's awesome, Karen.
That's great. You've been lifting longer than I have, girl. I wouldn't cross you in a dark alley.
No, I got to get my weights back out. I was using them, and then I did the sprinting. But when I did the sprinting, I put muscle on from doing that. Like Dr. Sean O'Mara is not wrong.
That's awesome.
My cat is going crazy over there. Sorry if you guys can all hear her.
She wants some frisky.
She does. B-Dog's recommendation is the cherry smoked salt. So maybe next time I buy the smoked salt, I will try that one. I have not tried that.
Yeah, better cherry smoked salt than any other cherry smoke, you guys. Just keep it healthy, okay?
And then Karen says that she never does New Year's resolutions. I don't either. And from what I hear, they're sort of becoming less popular.
They don't work. They don't work because people, they don't take them serious because they haven't changed the paradigm. They haven't changed. They haven't learned about the mind for the New Year's resolutions to work. And it's funny too, if you learned about the mind and how the God's laws work, you would know that everything is set up in your favor and by law, that there's no way you can lose if you're constantly getting up and you refuse to quit. There's no way you would lose. So you don't need a resolution. You just need to pick a goal, hold it in your mind, and go for it. You don't need to make all sorts of resolutions with other people. You know, let them have their goals, and you make sure you know yourself and you come up with your goals that you want to accomplish, because life is short and you don't want to live with regrets. I'm telling you, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. JT, what do you say to critics of this way of eating who say that it's unsustainable? Because I've heard that a lot. Like, don't you get sick of eating meat all the time? And you just can't do that. It's not sustainable. You're going to have high cholesterol.
What is unsustainable is drinking 17 beers a day. What's unsustainable is smoking 12 grams of cannabis a day. What's unsustainable is going to bed every night with sleep apnea and no machine and hoping that you don't die.
Nobody will die tonight.
Yeah, what's unsustainable is making bad decisions. And by that I mean picking soda and stuff, you know, and it's also sad to me when I see these people. They're like, well, you know, I deserve a cheat day. You know, I've been doing good. You guys still have love in your heart then for that stuff. And why would you want a cheat day when you've been winning? Why would you want it? To me, that's not a cheat day. That's a day of losing. And if you've been winning with making these decisions, why would you want a day where you're not going to win? Why would you want to win 29 days out of the month and then you actually choose to lose one day? And I'm not saying you're going to lose everything in that one day, okay? And I'm not taking it to the extreme, but if you know these things caused you problems and brought you to this dance in the first place, you know, why would you go back to it? So I suggest that you guys just stick to what you're doing. Just try to remember how bad you felt on that other stuff. Remember the old you, and then that's going to make you more in tune with the new you, that you're not going to make those decisions to go back to the ice cream and the soda and the beer and the cannabis and stuff. Do I want that stuff once in a while? Yeah, but do I nip it in the bud immediately? And I focus on the fact that I'm a family man now and I'm doing better than ever. And just picture this, if it's going to help you. Like, would you want a loved one of yours to consume nothing but poison and then hurt themselves?
Yeah.
And if you wouldn't want them to do it, why would you allow yourself to do it? So, you know, just try to keep that in mind. Change your perspective, and that'll help you make different decisions, folks.
Absolutely. JT, if you would like me to, although I'm pretty sure everyone knows about your channel, would you like me to show your channel? I feel a little bit silly doing that.
Hey, you do whatever you want, but it's the Poco Moonshine family, and it's all about family fun and adventure. And I know I'm doing some carnivore content on there now, but I still feel like you guys are family. I'm still having fun, and life is one big adventure. So I don't feel like I've gone back on what I do. And there's Rick's fried chicken. If you guys haven't
Yes.
tried his fried chicken, oh man. I said lard in the video, but I actually cooked it in beef tallow. I learned the other day from Amy. I interviewed her. Um, uh, Animal fat from a cow is called tallow. That's beef tallow.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
fat from a pig is called lard. So you're either cooking with lard or tallow. Okay, folks. And in that video, I cooked with tallow, but you can also use pig lard, and it's going to turn out just as amazing. And there's no spices, no seasoning. I didn't even put Redmond's real salt on it. I just fried it
Wow.
in the tallow, and I literally inhaled those chickens. They flew
Did
right
you
into my stomach.
did you use a cast iron
No,
pan with
I bought one on eBay on the 20th, and the guy didn't ship it out until the 25th. So I'm still waiting on my cast iron. But luckily,
Okay.
my buddy Brett sent me a couple, like the chain mail and a couple other items that I can take care of my pan with when I do get it. So I would
Nice.
suggest you guys do go on eBay, purchase a cast iron skillet. If you want to know what brand I bought a Griswold, and specifically, it's a number 8 sized pan with the big block logo. And I would go on eBay and buy yourself a nice pan and get off of the Teflon non-stick stuff. Because as much as it's cool, that your food doesn't stick, what does stick, that stuff comes off, then it sticks in your body, and those, you just don't want to consume more junk than we have to. We already have to go outside and breathe this air and all sorts of stuff that's, and also too, carnivore diet isn't a magic pill. Like you're eventually, we're still gonna have something we catch that's gonna be our downfall, we're gonna die from. But I think that with the carnivore diet, we are going to have a lot more days ahead of us to
Mhm.
enjoy life, to make decisions, to fall down, to fail our way forward, and to win. And it's going to be a lot more better life on carnivore than a standard American diet, for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm jealous of Rick. He has several old Griswold iron
Yep.
pans.
Yep.
I bought my cast iron new, but I am loving, loving, loving my cast iron. And once it gets a good season on it, stuff doesn't stick.
Nope.
Um, so yeah, I'm gonna try that. Chicken is on my list to try. I do have the beef tallow. I'm looking forward to making that.
Get a Griswold, you guys. Go on eBay. They're about $70, and that's plus shipping. And I got the number 8 size one, and I tell you, you do your best though. Okay, if you got the nonstick pan and can't afford the other one, that's okay. But just try to make it a priority. Okay, like ask for it for Christmas. It's coming up.
Mhm,
Okay, ask
mhm.
somebody, but you don't always, and that's another thing my coach taught me, you don't always have to pay for what you want. So hold it in your mind that you want it, and be surprised how it shows up.
That's awesome.
Especially too, if you really want to go use the vacuum law, throw out the pans, and so you got nothing to cook with, and that way you'll have to order one. Just a suggestion.
That's right. I ordered one and I didn't know how much I was gonna love it. I use it like every day, and I just tried baking in it. Like I baked a meatloaf in it. Boy, was that delicious.
Wow,
So it's so
you're
versatile.
making
I
me
mean,
jealous. I can't wait to get mine.
so check out my meatloaf. It's like a meatloaf with like a carnivore topping. Like go check it out if you want. Give it a shot when you get your. Do a
Check
ribeye
out
first.
Christy's channel, Meeting Wellness. I'm telling you guys, check out her channel. She
Okay.
is
Did I
she
think
is
that I
doing
would be
so good.
what? I did not think I'd be cooking for people. Like I am not a cook or a chef. My cooking is laughable. However,
Oh, come on, Christy.
however, I'm having fun. So guess what? And people seem to resonate with it because I'm just a regular lady cooking what I cook.
You
And
keep
most,
using that word my coach uses, resonate.
yeah,
That's your
oh,
vibration, Christy.
that's
They're in
right.
vibration with you because you're in a high vibration. You're smiling, you're energetic, you're laughing, you're living life, you're having fun. And that enthusiasm, when people have enthusiasm, they're going places. And people like to go places with people who are going places, and they want to hitch on to that. So don't be surprised, Christy. You're in a
Yeah.
good vibration, and you're going to attract a lot of people in good vibrations too,
Yeah, so I'm having
Beautiful.
fun cooking in my very unprofessional setup, and people seem to, they watch it, they say, look, it's fun, it looks good. I think it's just because I'm just a regular person doing regular person things, and that's what people want to see. That
Well, I wouldn't say you're a regular person. We are
oh,
all. I'm telling you, we are all
oh,
beautiful people. We are so unique. We're creative beings, and there's nothing normal about us. When someone says, if they go into a house and someone says, "Who's that?" and you say, "It's just me." No, it's not just me. You are a unique individual. Chris, there's only one Christy.
that is true. So, Crypto Carnivore, I hear what you're saying. That your wife's great aunt passed, and they asked everyone to go through the house and see if anyone wanted anything, and got some great cast iron pans that work amazing, and has us thinking of her. That's awesome.
That's
I have some of
beautiful.
my grandmother's bowls that I use when I cook, and when she passed, I wasn't interested in cast iron pans, and my brother took them all, so he has all of them.
That dirty dog.
I asked him for one. He said no. I said, "Oh man, that's
Hey,
for my
watch.
brother."
He'll come with a bow for Christmas, and he was just playing around with you. Hopefully,
Serious. And so I went and bought my own. I'm like, all right, you keep all grandma's pans. It's okay.
and they said it exactly right. If you actually go on eBay and buy a nice Griswold pan, I guarantee you that's going to be around for your kids after you're dead. And
Yes.
it's just you're not buying junk. That thing's made like in the 20s to 30s, and it's incredibly made, and it's going to last you. So the $70 is going to last you more than these $150 pans.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I should have thought of that. I didn't think of that eBay. That would have been a good solution. I should
It's
have
an
asked you first.
investment, and an
Yes.
investment is living with intention with your money. That's what an investment is. It's being intentional with your money rather than just
Mhm.
spending it. Anybody can spend money, but we want to be intentional with our money and make investments.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what he's talking about here, Rick, the title of a Beach Boy song, but my dad was in a surf band called the Challengers. Look it up.
Ooh, I like
That's
that.
along with the Beach Boys, and he played at the Grammys, and he was on a TV show, and all this kind of cool stuff. So I'm not sure what you meant about the Beach Boy songs, but thanks for making me think of my dad.
Yeah, I can't think of any of those, but I used to have the Beach Boys album. I think there was like a set of lips on it or something. I can't remember exactly, but I used to have the Beach Boys album and listen to that all the time.
Oh yeah, I love the Beach Boys. Well, JT, we've been going for well over an hour here. Like you always tell your guests, I want to respect your time. So I know you probably have things to do and your family and all that good stuff, but I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on. It really just felt like chatting with an old friend. I didn't have like sometimes I come to these with a set of questions, just in case and things like that. But like I said, when we jumped on together, I don't even think we need that. I think we can do an
No,
hour.
the energy just flows, and when you get around people that are in the high vibration and they're feeling good, the conversations are just different, and that's just the way it goes. I will be back on later again for my third live stream of the day. We're gonna stream the Corey, the second half of the video game. It's kind of a scary video game, and I wanted to finish it up last week, but my son was in a very cranky mood, so we are gonna finish it up tonight. It's gonna be very creepy, very scary, and if you guys are into Halloween stuff, come play some video games. You can't play with us, but you can watch us play. And it's kind of those games where it's like a movie and you get to make decisions, and then the game's altered by the decisions you make. And it's going to be fun. There's a group of people we're trying to keep alive in the game, and hopefully we don't get anybody killed. But tune in with
Nobody
us.
died yet. I watched the first installment. Remember, I was in there, and I'm like, I must
Nobody's
like it.
died yet, so we're on a streak. But the
Okay,
second half of the game, the first half is a little slow. It's all the buildup of the story, but the second half, the crap hits the fan, shall we say? And we're gonna see if I can keep them alive. So
all
hopefully, I
right.
see you guys
Well,
later tonight for some
I might see
spookiness.
you in there for a little while. It is Friday, so I don't have to get up and teach tomorrow. I don't like scary stuff, but I like you. I might come watch you and
I
kind of
got to get
chat.
up for Dr. Hampton in the
You
morning, 8
do.
a.m.
You do, but you only need 5 hours of sleep. What are you talking about?
Oh, I know. So we'll be up late and we're having fun. So hopefully you guys check it out, and make sure you check out Christy's channel. She's absolutely killing it with the
Aw,
interviews. I
thank
told
you.
Dr. Hampton too. I'm like, dude, you got to check her out.
Yes.
She's killing it. Um, I'm telling you, you guys, she's a beacon of light, and she's to be appreciated. And I appreciate you, Christy.
Thanks,
And I'm
JT.
thankful
And
for the opportunity that you gave me to share my story. I really do appreciate that.
oh, I love your story. It made me cry. It was such a great story. I mean, not today, but when I watched it on your video the first time, and I don't cry easily, you know, so it was touching. Let's go out on this note. You're welcome, Renee. On this note, good vibration. Yes, good vibrations is the Beach Boys
There
song.
you go.
Now I
Good
can hear it in
vibration.
my head. Yes, that's
That's
what
what
it is.
life's all about. It really is. That's what you're going to contract good things when you're in a good vibration.
Okay, well, JT, I know you like to make the duck face for Rick, so I'm going to hit the end stream. And Rick, there's the duck face.